What's going on, y'all? It's JD Pickell with On 3. Today on the Hard Count, we're going to be unveiling some of the newest 5 stars in the On 300 rankings. Welcome into the Hard Count, the people's show for every single thing that you know and that you love about college football. It happens here on a nearly daily basis. Nick Brake doing the heavy lifting. You can help drive the show at my Twitter page, at JD Pickell. Now, anybody who knows anything about college football knows that recruiting is the lifeblood of college football. So here at On 3, we do a lot in that sphere, so make sure you're following us on On3 Recruits. Go to on3.com to check out the rankings because the newest rankings just dropped. The On 300 is now out, and I'm going to be talking about some of the newest 5 stars that we have unveiled. Talk to Charles Power, Director of Scouting and Rankings here at On 3. And I said, Charles, talk to me. Just give me the lowdown about these newest 5 stars and why they made the jump. Give me the scouting report. Give me all the good stuff, and I'll tell you what, Charles Power delivered in enormous fashion. So first and foremost, what does 5 stars mean? I asked that to Charles. I said, Charles, for the people at home, what does 5 stars equate to essentially? He said, in a perfect world, the 5-star rating projects to first-round pick status. So at this point in the game, this is a projection for how these guys are going to eventually be when it comes to their time to get called for draft day. So without further ado, the first player that made the jump to 5-star status, edge Damon Wilson out of Florida. He's uncommitted right now. Strong lead on the recruiting prediction machine towards Bama. He was previously the number 21 player. He's now the number 4 player. Asked Powers, he said, why is he a 5-star? He said, he's a guy we liked for a long time. He was always on the cusp of 5 stars. But for us, a big thing was just getting more information, being able to see him in spring football, which they play in Florida. Being able to get more verified measurements on him was a big deal. In terms of what he likes from a scouting perspective, Power says he's got a first step that is phenomenal. He probably is the best bender in this 2023 class when it comes to edge rushers. Says he's also a guy that's just a super freak. Like 420-pound bench press. There's also a video out there floating around online of him hitting his head on a basketball rim. A 10-foot rim, mind you. It's no Little Tykes kind of deal. He's jumping and hitting his head on a rim. I think that about sums up everything you know about Damon Wilson. Dude's a freak. Next, we got Adebawore. He goes by PJ. He's committed to the Oklahoma Sooners out of Missouri. He is another edge rusher. He was previously the number 20 player. He's now the number 7 player. This is a guy who's still new to football, which is frightening to think about. Only played the position for about 2 years. The big thing for him coming into this 5-star status was being able to see him in person, seeing him at the Future 50. Charles says at the Future 50, he was probably one of the top 2 athletes. Not just edge rusher, one of the top 2 athletes at the event. When it comes to scouting him, he's a unique combo of twitch and range. He's about 6'4", 225, 7-foot wingspan. Like Shaquille O'Neal-esque kind of wingspan. Enormous upside. Like I said, only played the position for about 2 years. Charles says this guy still probably has his best football ahead of him. Again, he's going to Norman. Sooners fans, be excited. You got a 5-star on your roster. Next, Zalance Heard. Offensive tackle out of Louisiana, uncommitted right now, really strong lean on the RPM to LSU. Right now, it's about 97% at the time of this recording. He was previously the number 16 player. He is now a number 13 player in the On 300, and he's a big old 5-star. Seeing him in person, like a lot of these guys, was one of the big deals for us. The final box to check was just being able to see him up close and see those physical gifts, to see his 6'5", 308 frame. And that's one of the things that Charles Power loves about this guy. He's got an offensive tackle frame, but defensive tackle athleticism. He's a guy that is going to be a big pickup for whoever gets him, especially in the run game. Right now, he's a really nasty run blocker, and that shows on film at the high school level. Charles says this guy's just dominant when you turn on the tape. Like, he just dominates in the run game. Really nasty run blocker. So he's still got a lot of football ahead of him as well, a lot of upside ahead of him as well, is what Charles loves. A guy who's only going to get better as he gets into a college program. So Zalance Heard, another 5-star in the On 300. Next, we're moving to the wide receiver position. And Jurrion Dickey, Oregon commit out of California, the wide receiver, was previously the number 35 player. He's now the number 15 player in this class. And Charles was pretty excited about Jurrion Dickey, was really straight up. He just said, Jurrion Dickey, we've seen him at 2 of the national events recently. He was the best receiver at both of them. Like, out of all the top guys, a lot of the top guys were there that also had a lot of stars next to their name. He said Jurrion Dickey was the best receiver. He's got a unique combo of speed and size. He's about 6'2.5", 210, and runs an electronic 4.5. Now, I want to make sure I emphasize this. A lot of people out there that they say they run a 4.3 or 4.4, and they're on their, hand time by their head coach at their high school, and it's not really a legitimate 40 time. To be 6'2.5", over 210 pounds, and to run a 4.5 electronic 40 time is stupid. Like, it is just ridiculous that a man that size is running that fast. He's a grown man physically, really productive too. That's another thing that Charles loved about him. 1,300 yards, 19 touchdowns against good competition. Ask Charles Power, as he said, he just made it easy on us. Like, we knew he was going to be a 5-star when these rankings came out. He just made it easy on us, on our scouting staff. Keeping in the wide receiver position, Noah Rogers, previously the number 42 player, now the number 17 player, wide receiver out of North Carolina. He's committed to the Ohio State Buckeyes, who have assembled the Monstars as of late in terms of offensive playmakers. He shined at the OT7. That was one of the things that solidified his place as a 5-star. Was obviously one of the top receivers at the event, in an event that was, again, loaded with talent. When it comes to scouting, Power says he just loved what he did at the OT7, was a guy who has a lot of playmaking ability on Friday nights, but to see him in person just smoking DBs, which was Charles Power's words, not mine. He said he was smoking DBs at that event. One of the guys who's had a lot of long touchdowns, he said, probably had the most long touchdowns out of anybody at the event. Also loves his speed and size combo, 6'2", 195, 1,400 yards, 22 touchdowns. Interesting thing about Noah Rogers, probably the most fascinating note that Powers told me was Rogers is the best receiver, according to us at On 3. He's the most highly ranked receiver in that class. That's a class with Brendan Ennis. That's a class with Carnell Tate. And to say Noah Rogers is the best receiver of that group should tell you all you need to know, Buckeye fans, about your new 5-star. Finally, Peyton Bowen, previously the number 37 player, now the number 18 player out of the state of Texas. He's a safety, committed to Notre Dame. The big thing for us was seeing him at the Future 50. He's a guy who we liked for a long time, tested really well athletically prior to his junior season, Power said. He's one of the best combos of smooth coverage ability and explosiveness. He put that on display at the Future 50. There was also rumors like, hey, this guy's going sub 4.4 at a lot of college camps, and that was kind of the rumor going into it. Power said, yeah, we saw him at Future 50. He was second in the fastest man competition. That's saying something. To go to an elite national event and to be second fastest dude there, you should be fired up if you're a Notre Dame fan. So another thing Power said that was interesting to me, he said the safety position in the 2023 class is probably the deepest position as of right now. Like, in terms of just dudes in a position group, safety has the most ballers. And Power said Bowen has the best film of that group. So that says something to us in terms of his ability already. Like, the dude is a playmaker. And that was another thing he said. He said one of the most complete playmakers in this class. He's a hash to sideline kind of safety, meaning he covers a lot of ground. He's a ball hawk. You can put him back there and feel good about him on the back end. And he's a guy that honestly is going to continue to develop and has a lot of physical ability right now that's going to allow him to be successful on Saturdays. So that's it for us. Those are all of your new 5-stars in the On 300. Again, I cannot stress this enough. On3.com, our website, has all of the information you need on all of these guys. In-depth scouting reports, player comps. You're going to make sure you get to that website and see everything about these guys. See everything you can in terms of recruiting and all the other myriad of things we have available on that website. That's it for us here on The Hard Count. Appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter at JD Pickell. We're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.